I'm gonna have to do it. I'm gonna have to do it. That's what I do. This video comes by straight demand. I got a bunch of people in my inbox asking, "Yo, Matt, you talked about Christian Lee. Talk about those lightweight rankings. What did you think about him?" I was like, all right, let me look into it. One Championship came out with their first list of rankings. Their first top five. They only did 5 fighters. And I'm only going to do Christian Lee's weight class, not only because he was a recent discussion of topic, but because I think that's the deepest division in one. And if you were to rank them, you could easily do a top 10 list. So I did my own top 10 in ONE FC or ONE Championship, and I did their lightweight division or 77 kilos. When they brought out the initial rankings, it was very interesting. Christian Lee, Yuri Lapikis, Saigi Gaisin Arslanaliev, or Dagi, Piotr Bust, Timothy Nastyukhin, and Shinya Aoki. You have a Grand Prix that just happened where you took your 8 specifically top lightweights outside of Aoki, who was the champion at the time, and you put him in a tournament to find out who was the best fighter. Like, that was the whole purpose of that Grand Prix. And Yuri and Piotr Bust weren't even in that tournament. So to have them in the top 5, I think is a travesty to the fighters who have been putting their blood, sweat, and tears into ONE Championship for years. I mean, rankings really don't mean anything in the world of MMA anymore. Just because we're going to talk about it, this is how it's going to be. And I'm going to have some honorable mentions first. My honorable mentions, number 1, Dae-Sung Park. He's 3-0 in ONE Championship. He has some really good wins. He destroyed Honorio Benario, and he has a good win against Rodrigo Caporal in Road FC. Koji Ando is right outside as well. The Commanders fought a lot of tough guys in that ONE Championship top 10. He fought Ev Ting. He fought Loen Tainanez. He's fought a lot of guys. Koji is a beast. Again, a guy who just hasn't put it together. He's right outside. Rahul Raju, who had a really big year last year. Rahul went 2-0 in ONE, and he gave Gary Tonin his toughest fight. Kazuki Tokudume. Tokudume is a beast, former UFC fighter. He just beat Johnny Nunez, but after getting dispatched from Lee, he's got 2 wins in a row. He's a beast. He took Lee on short notice. Starting off our top 10. Number 10, someone I know personally very well, the human highlight reel, Ev Ting. He had a seesaw last 2 years, some mixed results, but he got handed a travesty of a decision in Singapore in that last fight he had with Amir Khan, which he won. Stevie Wonder was a judge. He would have marked it for Ev Ting. It was so bad. And when you're cage side, it's even worse. I don't know where Oliver Koss, he was gun shy with the cards that fight, but Jesus, that was pretty bad. And then before that, he had a huge win against a really big UFC vet coming down, Daichi Abe. He fought him in KO, had a huge comeback win. Interesting about Ev in this list, he's the one guy that I think could beat any of the guys in the top 10. No one really poses a style problem for him. I think he's one of the more well-rounded guys. Number 9, Edward Folayang. I think Folayang, if you lived in Southeast Asia, you know who the landslide is. I think he showed his age as of late. You saw him drop a decision to Piotr Bust, a split decision in Manila. But Folayang, he has some really good performances. His stoppage of Aoki was phenomenal. But he looks very lukewarm as of late. And that just could be because he's gotten in so many wars. And he's been knocked out pretty hard a couple times as well. But I think number 9 is a good spot for Folayang. I go down to Yuri Lapishis. I think this guy is a future star. He's a beast. But realistically, his only win at lightweight is against Shannon Wardachai, who could easily be a featherweight. And then his last win against Marat Gafurov, great task. But Gafurov isn't even a lightweight. He doesn't belong in that weight class. So when they booked this guy against Christian Lee for the belt, it was very head-scratching. It didn't make sense. Like, it doesn't make sense for the rest of the guys in the division for him to leapfrog that far up. Like I said, I think he's talented, but he's definitely not there yet. He needs some top 10 wins before getting a title shot, in my opinion. I think one should look to rebook Christian Lee against someone. If they're just trying to feed him, that's fine, but I'd like to see Christian Lee fight some tougher guys. Piotr Buist starting off 3-0 in the one cage. He fought Edward Folayang. He looked good for coming in on short notice. I think Epting versus Piotr Buist would be a great fight. I have Piotr at 7. The Dutchman, great striker. I think Folayang took him down. I think a good grappler, able to get to his legs, could give him some problems. Number 6, the Underground King, Eddie Alvarez, coming off a huge win against Edward Folayang as well. He got rocked. He got hurt hard. He was able to reverse the position, get the submission. Alvarez was booked side Doggy for his next fight. I think that's a great fight for both of them. And that could be a contender fight for sure. And I'm definitely looking forward to that one. This one is kind of the guy I feel the most bad for in one championship is Ariel Sexton. This guy has won 5 of his last 6 fights, and no one's mentioning him for title contention. Man, Ariel Sexton is a beast. He's a great grappler. He's a very tough fight. His one loss is to Epting. He lost by split decision in Miramar. But, man, Sexton he's a killer. I'd like to see Ariel come, maybe because he's coming back from injury, they give him someone like Dae-Sung Park on his return fight. I think that would be a great fight for him. And Aoki, you get what you get. You got a submission wizard who can beat up anyone. He can kill the fight in a split second with a lightning quick submission. He's a beast. He's older. I think he'll struggle against tough guys. But one matchup I do want to see is Aoki versus Timothy, because Herbert Burns, who now fights in the UFC, took Timothy down quite easily and subbed him pretty quickly. I'd like to see if Aoki can do something similar and produce a similar result. I think that's a very fun fight. And then, speaking of the devil, Timothy I have ranked at number 3. He beat Eddie Alvarez phenomenally. He was supposed to fight Lowen Tainanis, but pulled out due to injury. I have him at 3. I think him and Aoki is the fight to make. Number 2, I got Sagi Dagi Arslanaliev. We'll see if Dagi got figured out or if it was just a bad night in the office when he fought Christian Lee. This guy has got so much talent. He's so young. I can't wait for him to fight Eddie Alvarez. I think that's a great fight for both of them. The fans are the ones who win. This is a great fight. One of the best fights one championship can put on. And my top 10 rounds out with Lowen Tainanis at number 1. Not as active because due to injury as of late, but he did fight in the Grand Prix. He's got the most talent. He's got the biggest upsize in talent in one championship. I think if he stays healthy, he's the best talent in the entire roster. Lee, killer. I love Christian. I think he needs to fight the Murderer's Row at lightweight before jumping divisions. I'm not interested in seeing him go 0-3 against Smart and win at all. Fight the Murderer's Row, gain the respect of the crowd, the fans. Fight the Ariel Sextons, fight the Timothy Nastyukins, fight these guys. This is going to be those are the fights you need to make. So those are my top 10. I'm going to put a list up there. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching Clear No Theory. Stay safe, stay humble.